So in this lab, we will set up network and HTTP load balancers. So let's quickly log in. So now let's first quickly set up our default compute zone and compute region. And then task 2 is to create a multiple web server instances. So there are currently we need to create total 3 virtual machines, and we have given like they have provided us total 3 different commands to copy and paste. So let's do the first one, and let's go in compute engine. Here we will be able to see all the new 3 instances. So the name of first instance is ww1 as given here, and below everything, like these are all the specifications, and here is this startup script. It means right after the instance will be launched and ready to this startup script will run. So our instance 1 is ready, I guess. Let's refresh and let's quickly complete, let's quickly create both the instances, remaining 2 instances. So now we need to create third instance, and then we need to set up a firewall rule such that we would be able to send HTTP traffic to our instances. Okay, so firewall rule is set, and now this command is to just get the list of all the instances. So we are currently, like we can see here, currently we are having total 3 instances here. So these 3 instances will be returned when we run this command. The name and description of these 3 instances. So let's run this command quickly and see. So here is our 3 instances. Its name and other descriptions like name, zone, machine type, and everything, internal and external IP addresses and status. It's returned, and we can actually let's copy and paste the external IP address of any one instance, and we are able to see the request is been coming from ww2. Similarly, if you copy and paste external IP of ww3, it will give us request is coming from ww3. See, ww3 is here. So this is completed, and now third task is to configure a load balancer service. So in order to create it, first let's create like an IP address, an external IP address. I mean, this IP address will be a single IP address. The request sent to this IP address will be coming to our load balancer, and that load balancer will decide which instance to be forwarded. Like load balancer will decide the request to be forwarded to which instance. So we have created, just now we have created basic health check, and now let's create a server pool. Its name is ww pool. And let's attach all 3 instances to this pool. So what it is actually doing, in a load balancer will have to check if the instances are up and running. So they continuously like make sure, like health check is to continuously check if that instance is in good condition, such that it would be able to handle more requests or not. So load balancer use these pull and health check in order to make sure the backend servers are up and running and would be able to handle more requests. So now we are creating a forwarding rule. In this rule you can see port is 80 and address is network LB IP1. This is the IP address which we have created in this command here. So any request coming to this IP address will hit our firewall, and then it's targeting it to target pool, which is ww pool, and in ww pool we are having total 3 instances, and request will be sent to any one instances, and so this is how load balancing is working. So our task is completed, and now sending traffic to your instance. So let's check how is it. Actually this step is not mandatory, but let's see. And we need to copy the external IP address, this one. So we need to copy this command, and it will keep sending request, and IP address is, let's again copy the IP address. Here is the IP address, paste it here, and the remaining thing, semicolon, and done. So now see, the request is we are sending request to the load balancer service, and we are getting response randomly from any instances. So let's stop this by clicking Ctrl C in our keyboard, and now create HTTP load balancer. Task 5 is to create an HTTP load balancer. So now let's create an HTTP load balancer, and in this task we are not going to create each and every instance separately. So what we will be doing is we will create one instance template. So what is template? Template is just like it has information about all the specs, startup script, and then later we can use the same template to create multiple instances in a single command. And here we are creating that manage instance group. Instance group means we are creating multiple instances with same template. So hence it is known as instance group, and it is managed means all the all the scaling and everything will be managed by Google. So we don't need to worry about it. So let's create a managed instance group which will be using the above template. Above template means the specifications and startup script mentioned here. And then we will create a firewall rule, and we will target these instances. Here is the tag allow health check, and here is the target tag. So via target tag we are actually targeting that instances. So create a firewall rule and allow the traffic. Allow traffic on port 8080. Sorry, on port 80. As you can see, rule is equal to TCP 80. And now let's again create a brand new IP address. And then IP address is created, and now you can use this command in order to get that IP address. So our IP address is 34.1. So let's copy this IP address and paste in our new window here. Currently it won't give anything. And now let's create a basic health check. Again, whenever we are creating any load balancer, we will have to make a health check, because this is the way load balancer makes sure that backend resources are in perfectly fine condition to handle any request. And now we are creating a backend service. And after this backend service, we will attach this instance group to this backend service. So this command actually attach this instance group, to this backend service. So that is completed, and now let's create a new URL map. Let's target HTTP proxy to this URL map. And now let's create a forwarding rule. And in this forwarding rule, we are targeting this HTTP proxy. So in this forwarding rule, we are targeting this. Okay. And HTTP proxy is actually the URL map of HTTP proxy is web map HTTP. And this web map HTTP URL map is actually pointing to this web backend service, and web backend service is actually pointing to LB backend instance group. I mean the group of that instances which we have created, which we created with the template. So this is the way this network load balancer is working. Okay, it will take little time for everything to be in working condition, so let's wait for a while. And as soon as everything will be in working condition, we will be able to see the response coming on this IP address. This is the IP address which we have created here, and which we have created here and attached it to our load balancer. So now see, the page is served from LB backend FRL5, and if we refresh, okay, I guess currently only now see, now we are getting response from two different instances. So our load balancer is working fine now. So now we can check this, and hence our lab is completed. Thank you so much.